Yo, what's up, guys? What's going on? Welcome back. Hope y'all doing well. I'm a little bit sad. I am a little bit sad. It's sad to see the way in which they're going out of this tournament. They were so close. It was within reach. I've been saying it. I've been predicting it for the last, I don't know, 2-3 months ever since I started watching this. I don't think they're going to win this. And I've said this before because you have a team, this behemoth of a team, City, right behind you. The game itself, so this is the second part to the first half that I recorded yesterday. Brighton playing the De Zerbi football that they play. Splendid, beautiful, wonderful, delicious, whatever you want to call it. Football that they play from the back, trying to bait the press. In this case, Arsenal's front line. And sometimes that wouldn't work out. Sometimes it would, but sometimes it wouldn't work out. And what was banana nut sandwich crazy that they did was they would play this very compromising pass into the middle, a high pass, a long shot. And whoever it was that was receiving the ball, McAllister, Caicedo, would end up receiving it with the composure and bringing it down with the composure of a ballet dancer. And there were two Arsenal players that would press this one player, be it McAllister or Caicedo, which would mean it would leave an unmarked Brighton player. And somehow that player, McAllister or Caicedo, would end up slipping it through for that unmarked player. And that's how they would start their attack. Or the traditional way from the back and unstoppable with the triangulation. And whoever ended up getting that ball after the triangulation play or the 1-2, for instance, Enciso, would do so in a way where he was able to hold off his marker and pass it and again generate a game of play through that style. It was just uncanny the amount of no mistakes that Brighton would make. You could see that you would give it to anybody and it would be reassuring that they wouldn't just lose the ball. Which you couldn't say the same thing about Arsenal. Arsenal were trying to find that rhythm of play where they would also link up with the 1-2, the triangulation passes, and the long balls, but just couldn't get into it. And after the goal for Brighton, it just changed everything. Brighton just grew in confidence exponentially, and Arsenal were no longer in possession of the game. But that goal, the first goal, I'm not convinced that should have been allowed. I think it should have been disallowed because what do you want the guy to do? To play without his shoe? He stands a chance of getting injured. I think that it should have been disallowed, but I think it's also Kiwir's fault for not putting his arm up and trying to get the ref's attention to make notice of the play and to get VAR involved. The ref's looking at something else. He's not really noticing that. He doesn't have the eyes for it. That's why he has the eyes through VAR to be able to help him out and assist him. So I think it's partially his fault because the play didn't conclude. They were still playing and he was still on his knees and he should have said something. He should have gotten up, done something, flapped his arms, signaled or something. So I think it was partly his fault as well because that just allowed Enciso to be by himself completely just to tap it in with his head. And the second goal, oh man, what a beauty of a mishap if I ever did see one. It was very announced to what he was trying to do. Brighton player, all he had to do was just cover him and just stand there and not even extend his leg and just get it blocked and get the deflection onto the other player so he could just lob it over Ramsdale. But that was completely all on Trossard. I mean, he pretty much just sealed the deal for Brighton at that point. The third goal, I thought again Kiwir could have done a better job at tracking his marker. He had time to get to Stupinian and block the shot. But at that point, Arsenal were completely dismantled and just could not do anything right. I don't think Jesus should have came out because it takes you a while to get into the game. Sometimes, yeah, Nketiah in this case, coming into the game, he came into it and couldn't really find his way into the game. And you saw Jesus right before he got substituted with I think it was a clearance from Ramsdale that went, I don't know how many feet up in the air. Just brought it down. I mean, pretty much, it seemed like he brought it down with his hands. Like he had a pillow on his foot. So he was very much in the game. He was very concentrated and focused, laser focused into what he was doing. So I don't think it was a case of being tired. I mean, he wasn't any more tired than anybody else that was on the field. So I don't think that was a really good decision from Arteta, switching Jesus for Nketiah, because Nketiah didn't do anything. There was one chance he had, which seemed like a penalty, and it was a really good block by Stupinian in the 16-yard box. But aside from that, didn't really do anything. Now, Nelson coming in, I saw Nelson did kind of shake things up. He had a good shot that he cut in for his right foot and was in a couple of inches away from the second post, from the far post, and then got past his marker, which was a Stupinian at once. So he did prove to be a little bit more of a danger for Arsenal. And Saka, I'm going to say Saka did pretty well this second half. He had 2 vertical runs. That was really, really surprising to see. He made the best out of those 2 vertical runs. He did have one where he loves to hook it in for his left foot. And I mean, you got to look up, man. He ran right into 3 Brighton players. But I think where he really shined was defending. He would come back and he would defend. And I thought he did a really good job chasing back his marker. Sometimes Mitoma or Enciso. So I thought he did a really, really good job when it came to defending. I'm disappointed with the fans. Like I said in the beginning, I think what the fans ended up doing was unacceptable, really, and a lack of respect towards Arsenal players. I get it. Everybody wants to be champions. You got to look at this season as a whole and what these young players, youngest players and youngest team in the EPL, what they achieved in such a short time, what they ended up achieving. Since 2004, they were that close. They haven't gotten to rank this high up in almost 20 years. So I'd be very distraught and disappointed as an Arsenal player, because loyalty pretty much went out the window as soon as Arsenal fans started leaving the stadium, and you could see it from the streets, just a whole mess. It was more than half the stadium, I think, that ended up leaving the stands. And next season doesn't look that bright, because me as a player, I wouldn't be looking forward to next season, Champions League, the EPL again. I wouldn't be surprised if they place 9th, 10th place, because what are they showing you? What are they showing you? Like that they're just bandwagon fans? And I think they owe the players an apology. Anyways, that's all I got for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for future videos as always, and I'll catch you in the next match. Tschüss.